The introduction to the topic we're going to speak about tonight has to do with a fundamental understanding of something. As you know, in the physical, natural world we're living in, there are some rules. We call them chukei teva, the laws of nature. There are laws of nature. This is very, very important to set up the whole mood in creating the concept we want to talk about. In the laws of nature, we know several things about laws of nature. Take, for example, the law of what? Gravity. Koach HaMeshicha, the law of gravity. The law of gravity says something very simple, right? When you take something heavy that has weight and you lift it up and you throw it up, what's going to happen to it? It's going to come down, right? That's law of gravity. Now, do we believe that the law of gravity has anything to do whether we like it or not? Do you think the law of gravity will be impressed or will ever change if we like it or not? Whether you like it or not, gravity is gravity. It's going to happen because that's the law of nature. Doesn't matter what you feel towards that. It doesn't even matter if you think this is the most stupid law in the world. It makes no difference what you think about it. It makes no difference what you feel towards that. It makes no difference what's your philosophy about it. It is what it is, and it is what it is, and it will remain, it is what it is. Whether you are demonstrate and create all fights and wars against that, the law of gravity is the law of gravity. It's nature. There's nothing you can do about it. You can fight it, you can scream, yell, it's going to continue to be there. What smart people do, instead of fighting it, what smart people do, they're using it. They're taking, they're using, they're learning how to manipulate and how to make the best out of it and how to create enormous inventions to the world so they can truly use it to their benefits. Yes or no? Instead of fighting what you cannot win, use it. If you cannot beat them, join them. That's the rule. We know it about many, many laws of nature, that we know they exist, and we know there is nothing we can do to change them. What I would like to introduce to all of us is to discuss that at the same and a parallel line of laws of physical nature, there are laws of a spiritual nature. And the laws of spiritual nature are as exist and as effective and as powerful as the laws of nature. It's okay. It's as powerful and as exist as the laws of nature. Whether we like them or not, the spiritual being, the spiritual inner power that we have as people, when we are aware of their existence, we can use them to our benefits, and ignoring them will not change the end result of it. Does that make sense? In the spiritual nature that we have, if we are brave enough to face them in three different levels. Number one, recognize their existence. We need to know that in our spiritual being, they exist. And the second thing is, after we know they exist, we have to define them to make sure that we know what we're talking about. And after you know it, and you recognize and you can identify its existence, you start to put it into practice. When you take the awareness and add to it practices, you will create the end results you want to create from this force, from this law of nature. So tonight, I would like to share a little bit about one of those forces. that apparently has a tremendous, tremendous power in our life and affecting us in so many ways. And I'm sure there is nobody in this room tonight that can claim that he or she is not being affected by this force, whether we understand that the force is the cause or not. How many of us, by raising your hand, how many of us here have some aspirations and dreams and wishes we want to accomplish and we did not yet accomplished? Everyone. Everyone. And this question is a question that affecting all of us. We have so many dreams. We have so many wishes. We have so many aspirations that we desire to achieve in life in all different ages. And many of us are struggling. Like, I want to do this and I don't understand why I'm not there. I don't know why I'm not achieving it. I don't know. I'm married for 20 years and I thought marriage is a happy event. That's what they were told me. And for some reason, it's not really. I signed up for Cinderella and I ended up married for Tuna. It doesn't work. It's not what I thought it is. So then I'm coming into the world of, wait a second, is love even possible? Or it's really a fantasy fairy tale? Is this really even possible? I wish I would be married and happy. I wish I would have a successful business. I wish I would have some nahat, some joy for my children. I hope I can lose some weight. I hope I can do this. I hope I can do that. And we give ourselves all kinds of excuses why end result wishes are not being met. We all want that. There is no alive human being that doesn't have aspirations that we want to achieve. Recognize and identify the force I'm about to speak about might support us tremendously in the possibility to create the kind of life we want to create. So if you listen to it, if you hear it, if we digest it well enough and put it into practice, and it doesn't work for you, you'll get your money back for tonight. Okay? Whatever you paid, you'll get back. Okay? The force I'm talking about called the law of intention. The law of intention, the power of intention. In Hebrew, we would use the words koach hakavana, powerful thing. Koach hakavana, the power of intention. Intention basically, we'll get there in a second, but intention basically is the ultimate force that can create anything you want to create to your life. If there is proper intention, we'll get there, but when there is proper intention, sky is the limit of what we can accomplish in life. When intention is missing, when intention is not there, you can keep running and flipping 10 million times on the same goal. You will never achieve what you want, and you will end up blaming the whole world. You will end up blaming the weather, your in-laws, your outlaws, your wife, your spouse, your Moroccan husband. You will blame everyone. But understand what really caused any kind of positive results that we would like to achieve in life. I have to admit that in order to do justice to the topic, we need really more time than the 4 hours that we have tonight. It will be a big challenge to cover all of this. But we will try at least to touch it. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to go through a little journey. I would like to invite you to a small journey to go through the parasha that we are going to read this Shabbat, Be'ezrat Hashem, Parashat VAYESHEV. And through understanding or not understanding, one of the biggest, most difficult, most challenging topic in the entire Torah, maybe by going through this journey, we'll get understanding of what the power of intention is all about. Brothers and sisters, we should know, and I'm sure you know it, you are not new in the market, you are not rookies in this world. You know that if we would have to give a new title to Parashat VAYESHEV, actually not just to Parashat VAYESHEV, it begins at Parashat VAYESHEV, but we'll go from Parashat VAYESHEV all the way until the end of Parashat VAYECHI, the four parashiot, VAYESHEV, Miketz, Vayigash, and Vayechi. If we go through those four, if we have to give Parashat VAYESHEV a different name, what would be the name we would choose for the parasha? Dealing with the most difficult, most incredible, challenging topic, when Yosef and his brothers are in a war to the extent that it ended up that Yosef being sold and attempt murder to kill him out of jealousy and hatred. We'll talk about it in a second. Let's give a name for the parasha. What do you think would be the name of the parasha? Jealousy. Here is my suggestion. Parashat VAYESHEV, if I have to put a name to it to describe the way I see it, or the way many of the commentaries on the Torah, the way they see it, Parashat VAYESHEV is the cemetery for the human's mind. This is the cemetery of human's mind. This is the grave of human intelligence. This is the bankruptcy of the brain. Because Parashat VAYESHEV is a kind of a parasha that the more you dig in to understand, the less you're able to get, to comprehend. There is absolutely no logical way, regardless of how big the capacity of your mind is, there is absolutely no way to go through the parasha and have a clue of understanding, of comprehension of what the parasha is truly talking about. Let's begin a little bit with understanding this cemetery, this gravesite of the human intelligence. Rabotai, we need to understand that Parashat VAYESHEV is a revolutionary parasha, because up until this point, we all know it, we have faced conflicts and concerns between family members. Between family members. We know the first brothers in the world, how it ended up. We had Cain and Hevel. We all know what was the end of the story was. Ishmael and Yitzchak. Yitzchak and Ishmael. More proper way to say it. Yitzchak and Ishmael. Yaakov and Esav. But back then it was easy for us to deal with it. Why? Because the parashiyot talked about the bad guys and the good guys. Yitzchak Avinu is the good guy, Ishmael is the bad guy. We give blessings to Ishmael, we give blessings to Yitzchak, we cursed Ishmael, and all beautiful. And then we go eat Hamin and everybody happy. You go read on next Shabbat, you read Yaakov and Esav, easy. Yaakov Ishtam, Yoshev Oalim. Esav is the troublemaker, is killing, murdering, is having a good time, married 17 wives. The guy celebrated. He had a good time in life. Okay? I'm not suggesting that if you marry one wife, you're suffering. All I'm suggesting, 17 wives is a better idea. Okay? There is one that married, in Jewish history, married 1,000 wives. What do we call it? A king. We call him a king. That's the king. You have 1,000 wives, you're a king. That's King Shlomo Melech. But in any case, when we had the good guy and the bad guy, it was a piece of cake. No problem to love the good guy and to hate the bad guy. Give all the worst drashot on the bad guy. Esav was terrible, and we do it, by the way. When the Torah said, Vayavo Esav min hasadeh, just as a quick example, Vayavo Esav min hasadeh ve'hu ayef, the Torah is speaking a very innocent language. What happened to Esav? Vayavo Esav min hasadeh ve'hu ayef. What does ayef means? He came back from the field and he was tired. Look at the guy, poor guy. What happened to him? He was tired. He was tired from what? He was tired from working hard. No, מה פתאום? No. עייף? מי עייף? Who is tired? עשיו? Oh, let me tell you what he was עייף from. באותו היום, גילוי עריות, עבודה זרה, שפיכות דמים, all the worst sins you can ever imagine. That's what he was עייף from. It cannot be he was עייף from learning Torah. He was not עייף from working hard in the field. We have an easy time to put all, whatever you want, on עשיו and Yitzhak, יעקב אבינו, ויחלום, וישן. Oh, ישן? Of course. 14 years he didn't sleep. Why he didn't sleep? Because he was learning in Bet HaMidrash of Shem ve'ever. So, good guy, bad guy worked very well system. Now we come to Parashat VAYESHEV. We are in a serious, severe trouble. Because with Yosef and his brothers, we are speaking about the 12th holiest human being on the planet Earth. We are speaking at Malachei HaSharet kind level of people. We are speaking about, we are speaking about the most righteous people ever. The Torah said, Vayu bnei Yaakov shenem asar. The sons of Yaakov were 12, all straight line. They all were tzaddikim, equally tzaddikim, all of them. And when we read what's happening, it's impossible to understand. It's what I call it a cemetery of a human's mind. Yosef HaTzadik, first it started with who? It started with Yaakov. I'm going to go through the journey a little fast. But it all started with Yaakov. The Torah said, וישראל אהב את יוסף מכל בניו כי בן זקונים הוא לו. ועשה לו כתונת פסים. And Yaakov Avinu had 12 children, but out of those 12 he had one that was what? It was a favorite one. It was a favorite one. What do you believe? What do you believe you create when you have a favorite son? Jealousy, hatred, disconnection. That's what you create. Yes or no? How come Yaakov Avinu is creating such a jealousy between his children? And then Yosef realized and recognized that he was the favorite. But he was a favorite in relations to his brothers. But the Torah said, Vayave Yosef et dibatam ra'a el aviem. Yosef put a little more fire, a little more oil on the fire. Vayave Yosef et dibatam ra'a. Not only they hated him for him being favorite, but Yosef continued. Yosef continued. He goes to his father and he gives him stories about the brothers. What are you doing there? What are you about to create now? And then Yosef realized that the brothers cannot stand him, so he came out with the breaking news. Guys, I had a dream. Unlike the one who said, I have a dream, he said, I had a dream. And Yosef is coming and saying, I had a dream, and what was the dream saying? The dream saying that I see אלומות בשדה, והנה כמה אלומתי וגם ניצבה, והנה תסובנה אלומותיכם ותשתחוונה על אלומתי. In a simple English words, you're all going to end up being why? Slaves, servants. In case you feel a little jealousy, let me reconfirm that. I had a dream that that's what happened. So Yosef, what are you doing? What is the action that Yosef is doing? He's sharing those dreams with his brothers, with his clear consciousness and awareness that he is going to create a mess between him and his brothers. Can't go wrong on that. And sure enough, you blink twice, that's what happened. Yes or no? That's what happened. He created that mess. And the reaction? ויוסיפו עוד שנאות. על חלומותיו ועל דבר, they hate him even more. Yosef, how do you do this? Now that he knows that they are hated him even more than before, he came with another breaking news. ויחלום עוד חלום אחר. Guys, in case that dream of you guys being my servants was not clear enough, because it was only once and now you want to hear it in a clearer way, let me give you that dream with a small little tiny upgrade. Because up until now I spoke to you about you being my servants, but there is an additional piece to the dream. Parents, to make you feel even better. You're not alone. It's not just you, it's you and my parents. ויאמר הנה חלמתי חלומות והנה השמש והירח ו11 כוכבים משתחווים לי. And I added the parents. Yosef, ריבונו של עולם, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's the purpose of that? Why are you sharing those dreams when it's clear to you that the end result of your creation is a mess, hatred, jealousy, a world war? What are you doing? Why are you teasing them? What is your actions trying to create? So that's Yosef. And then we know that short after that, his father Yaakov Avinu is sending him to take a look. Give me some regards from your brothers. And he goes. And we all know the story that the brothers saw him. They had a very clear plan. What was their plan? Let's kill him. Yudbet Shivteka, Tzaddikim v'Hasidim. They are righteous, the most righteous people in the world. Playing with jealousy, playing with hatred. Mother's kindergarten now. And they're playing jealousy with Yosef, the youngest kid. So he had the dream. So what's the big deal? He had the dream. Could you imagine if we would hate and be jealous about any human being we know that had a dream? Do you know how many people came to me and said, I had a dream that you died? Which, by the way, it says that if anybody had a dream, somebody died. It's a segula for a long life. And if the segula didn't work, then the dream was wrong. Try it out. But that's what it is. So anybody comes to you with a dream, you hate him, you become jealous, you want to kill him. But they did. Until Reuven came up with a new suggestion, and Reuven said, Al tishpechu dam, ashlichu oto lahad haborot. Reuven came and said, no, don't do it. You see, the actions of them are impossible to understand. And then what they ended up doing, they putting him in the pit, in the bore. ויפשיטו את יוסף את כותנתו, את כתונת הפסים אשר עליו. ויקחו, וישליכו אותו הבורה, והבור ריק אין בו מים. רבותיי, we should know. I don't know if anybody ever, probably they did. I don't know if anybody ever created a movie about this. But even if there is, or there is not, I think if we can meditate on that moment, if we can envision that moment of the brothers putting Yosef in that pit, listening to his begging for his life, we shall never imagine for a second that Yosef was very proud and say, okay, I'll go. Yosef was begging to whom? Whom is he begging from? He's begging his brothers, don't kill me. Don't put me here. There are snakes and crabs, nehashim, akravim. The pasuk said, "V'abor rek en bo mayim, en bo mayim, mayim en bo. Aval nehashim v'akravim yesh bo." But there are snakes over there, and imagine the brothers of Yosef are going in, taking off his jacket, his ketonet pasim, and put him in the bore, put him in the pit. You go there. And they're looking at the snakes and they say, Betavun, to your own brother. How can any human being with a right mind can begin to comprehend such a behavior, especially from those kind of people? How is it even possible? But the worst thing didn't happen yet. The story gets even worse than that. Do you know what the pasuk said a second after they put him into the pit? The pasuk said, "Vayeshvu le'echol lechem." Now that Yosef is there and the snakes are eating, now it's our time to eat. So they go party. They go and create their own meal over there. The whole feast over there. Your brother is in the pit being eaten by snakes and crabs, and you have the guts to eat. Like, really? Is that what expected from Malachim, Kdoshei Elyon, the 12 tribes? Vayu bnei Yaakov shenem asar. This is what being expected from you? And then they go to share the breaking news with Yaakov Avinu. Another mind-boggling concept. They go to share the story. But they're not going to tell Yaakov we killed him. They're going to kill them. So they don't go to Yaakov Avinu and tell them, Yosef died. They know exactly who was Yosef for him. So they made up a story. And they slaughtered goat and they put the kutonet in the blood and they mixed it up and they went to Yaakov Avinu and they telling him what? They didn't tell him anything. וישלחו את כתונת הפסים ויבואו אל אביהם ויאמרו זאת מצאנו. Dad, very innocently, we found this. Hakerna, remember those two words. Hakerna, what does hakerna means? Recognize, you should recognize. Haketonet bincha hi imlo. This is not about Yosef. This is not about our brother. They used a very specific language. Hakerna, haketonet bincha hi imlo. Is this beged, is this piece of clothing, is it belong to your son? Do you recognize that? Obviously, Vayakira, Yaakov Avinu recognized that. ויאמר כתונת בני חיה רעה אכלתו טרוף טורף יוסף. It's impossible to envision the pain, the suffering, the mourning, the avelut that Yaakov Avinu has in this time. ויקרא יעקב שמלותיו וישם שק במותניו, and he's mourning. ויתאבל על בניהם רבים. And then the brothers did something very interesting. ויקומו כל בניו וכל בנותיו לנחמו. How beautiful. How beautiful. They are going to give him comfort. נחמה. אין דבר, המקום ינחם אתכם בתוך שאר אבלי ציון וירושלים, ולא תוסיפו לדאבה עוד. תהיה נשמתו צרורה בצרור. They know what's the story. What are you doing? You believe those words of comfort will comfort Yaakov Avinu? You know that story is not true. You know it didn't happen. Like, what does it take from you to do? How is it possible to believe? Yaakov Avinu is favoriting Yosef. Yosef is teasing his brothers to no end, is pushing them to the wall. And they are behaving like kind of people that is impossible to define or to use the proper psychological terminology. And they ended up trying to kill him. Until they didn't kill him, but they sell him to the Ishmaelim. And then Yosef goes to Egypt. So basically, is it fair to say that nothing of the acts, the acts of Yaakov, Yosef, and the brothers make any sense? We would not expect any human being on the planet Earth to behave like this, and we'll call him a normal human being. But it happened to them. Their actions and their level of humanity doesn't match. You cannot expect those kind of people to do these kind of things. Does that make sense? And then we know that later on, Yosef went to Egypt and he was taken by Potiphar and his wife. And we'll get to the story in a second. And then he ended up being in jail for 10 years. He tried to be Israeli and use some kind of connections with Sarah Mashkim, use some kind of political connection. Didn't work for him. And he stayed there for 2 more years later. Said, yes, there is a happy end to the story. It ended up Yosef being Moshel b'chol eretz Mitzrayim, the deputy of Paro, of the king Paro. It was a big leader in Egypt. Beseder, there is a good, happy end in the end. But that's more or less the story, right? Now there is one piece that I missed, and that's what I want to talk about. That was just an introduction. I told you we're going to be here for 4 hours. If in case the story I just told you that the Torah is speaking about is not a mind-boggling enough, between the time that they sell Yosef to the Ishmaelim until the story of Yosef in Egypt, remember, in that gap, between the time he's being sold and then he is in Egypt with Eshet Potiphar, the Torah squeezed in another story. Apparently in the middle of nowhere. Apparently there is absolutely no connection between the story of Yosef and another impossible story to believe about Yehuda. About Yehuda. Yehuda Melech Bashvatim. Yehuda Melech. Yehuda the king of the Shvatim. Yehuda. The story is pretty simple. It's simple to read. Yehuda has children, 1, 2, 3. And Yehuda had a daughter-in-law with the name? Nope, Dinah was his daughter. Her name was Tamar. Tamar. Tamar was the daughter-in-law of Yehuda. Understand, we're speaking about Yehuda, the king of the Shvatim. Put together all the rabbis in the universe. Doesn't come close to the ground Yehuda was walking on. Yehuda, Melech Shebashvatim. Tzaddik Yesod Olam, probably a very long white beard. Tzaddik, very big kippah, probably bigger than mine. Yehuda, Tzaddik Yesod Olam. He has a daughter-in-law with the name Tamar. When the first son of his died, and the second died, she was waiting to get married to his third son. Shelah was his name. Didn't work out. Didn't work out. Yehuda did not want to give his last child to Tamar. So Tamar decided that she will end up using some kind of a creative way to get what she wants. What was the creative way? ויוגד לתמר לאמור, הנה חמיך עולה תמנת על הגוז צונו. Tamar got the breaking news on Google that Yehuda is about to come forward to her neighbor. Tamar chose a very, very unique and interesting, and unlike any other thing she ever did. And she dressed up like what? Like a prostitute. Vayir'eh Yehuda, sure enough, Yehuda is climbing up. Yehuda. Tzaddik Yesod Olam, Kodesh Kodeshim. Yehuda is climbing up and he sees what? A prostitute. He doesn't know this is Tamar. He doesn't know this is his daughter-in-law. ויחשביה, התורה said. ויחשביה לזונה כי כיסתה פניה. Somebody said, ויחשביה לזונה כי כיסתה פניה. The job of the zona is not to cover. Over there, כי כיסתה פניה. ויט אליה אל הדרך. Yehuda is making the offer. Yehuda is initiating the offer. Scary. Yehuda is initiating the offer. ויט אליה אל הדרך, ויאמר, הבה נא אבוא אלייך. I want you. כי לא ידע כי חלתו היא. She said, no problem. Sir, that's exactly what I'm here for. Qaddash. What does Qaddash mean? How much? Qaddash. המרוקאים אומרים Qaddash. אתם החלבים, אנחנו מרוקאים. חלבים. נכון? Qaddash. בשחל. לא, הם כנסיים אומרים בשחל. With a melody. בשחל. In any case, Yehuda is initiating a relationship with the prostitute. And she said to him, okay, sir, you need to pay. He said, I'll pay you. No worries, I'll pay you. I mean, they had a very interesting way of paying. אנוכי השלח גדי העזים מן הצאן. I'll give you a pair of goats. In other words, he was another time Israeli. I'll pay you later. Remember when we grew up, b'makolet tirshom. Love that concept. Love that. I had the greatest time of my childhood. Tirshom. We used to go to the store, to the makolet. We buy shnei artik, shalosh shokolad, lechem v'halav. We threw the lechem v'halav in the garbage and we took that. But we didn't want the guy in the makolet to know that the parents doesn't know we were doing this. So we used to buy בהקפה, תרשום, אין בעיה, הכל עובר. פנקס פתוח, והיד רושמת, תרשום. Says Yehuda, I'll pay you later. She said, sure, no problem, I trust you. Give me a collateral. מה את רוצה collateral? ויאמר, מה העירבון אשר אתן לך? מה אני יכול לתת לך? She said, very simple, חותמך ופתילך ומתך. We can talk about this for 6 hours. I want your identity. I want your signature. I want your God's name on you. I want you. Everything about you, I want. Then I can go with it safe. You're going to come back, pick it up. Yehuda said, Faddal. למה לא? He pays. He gave it to her. The collateral. ויתן לה. ויבוא אליה ותהר לו. Very interesting prostitute. Didn't take birth control. And she became pregnant. Now Yehuda is in a little trouble. Not because he knew she was pregnant. But he needs to pay. He needs to pick up the collateral as fast as possible. It's a scary moment for him. And Yehuda didn't go by himself. He's not going to go and say, excuse me, did you see anybody in an old-fashioned job? Did you know anybody in the neighborhood? It doesn't say anything. But Yehuda has a friend. Re'eu ha'adulami. By the way, it deserves a real conversation about friendship. A friend who will go for you. He didn't do anything, the friend. And he's going to go and do what? He's going to knock on doors and ask people in the street, did you see any prostitute in the area? In the neighborhood? And he's not doing it for himself. He's doing it for Yehuda.
It's easier to do for somebody else.
But no, people will think it's you. If you go on the street, imagine that's crazy. If you go on the street and say, guys, did you see any? What people are going to think? That you're going to pay back and pull out the collateral for your friend? If you tell the story, nobody will believe you. Nobody will buy it. Who's going to buy it from you? Yeah, nice story. Remember those people who are coming? I have this a lot. Some people have some kind of a shlom bayit trouble and some kind of issues at home. But they're not going to come to you and say, oh, I have an issue. Say, listen, I have a friend who... Yeah, thank you. What's the name of your friend, sir? So this Re'eu Adulami is going, לקחת העירבון מיד האישה ולא מצאה. He can't find her. He can't find her and she's holding a חותמת המטה והפתילים. She's holding the signature of Yehuda. She's holding the DNA of Yehuda. And he goes, וישאל את אנשי מקומה לאמור, he goes from place to place. He asks people in the street, היה קדשה היא בעיניים על הדרך, ויאמרו לא הייתה בזה קדשה. קדשה, it's a very unique name for a prostitute. It's not קדושה, it's קדשה. Doesn't matter. So, This Re'u Adulam is going from place to place to ask for her. And people send the street, we don't know what you're talking about. This is not the right street, sir, you're in the wrong place. In this neighborhood, there is no prostitute. This is wrong. What does he do? Re'u Adulam is going back to Yehuda. וישב אל יהודה ויאמר לא מצאתיה. I couldn't find her. Not only that, וגם אנשי המקום אמרו לא הייתה בזה קדשה. People said there is no such a thing in the neighborhood. ויאמר יהודה, there is no way to translate this pasuk to English, so I'll translate it to Arabic. ויאמר יהודה תיקח לה פן יהיה לבוס פדחה. פדחה. We are in trouble. הנה שלחתי הגדי הזה ואתה לא מצאת. מה אני אעשה איתך עכשיו? טוב, כמה זמן עבר? 3 months. Back then, when people did not have ultrasound, you never know that a woman is pregnant until 3 months later. Gemara said 3 months later, hukar ubara. The belly started to pop out. Yes. For men too, but that's from the Hamin. I'm talking about pregnancy. Now Yehuda is the head of the Bedin over there. He's the Av Bedin. And he gets a case at his door. Hacham Yehuda, we have a problem in the city. What's the problem? Your daughter-in-law, Tamar, she's pregnant. She's not available, but she's pregnant. We don't know who is the father. She's pregnant. And Yehuda has no clue that there is any correlation between what he did and this one. There's no connection. וגם הנה הרע לזנונים. She's not married and she's pregnant, obviously. I mean, if this is not from the New Testament, it's got to be a man involved. ויאמר יהודה, that's very simple. Yehuda is sitting at a bedin. Yehuda is Av Bedin. He's the posek. Tamar is pregnant. הוציאוה ותשרף. She deserved to die. Okay. He mutzet, she's about to be burned to death. והיא שלחה אל חמיה לאמור. Now remember the words we used before. She's sending those items. And she said, ותאמר, הכר נא. Those 2 words, הכר נא, sound familiar?
Yes.
When the brothers came to Yehuda, you are the leader of the brothers, and you said to your father what? הכר נא כתונת בנך, you got back to the הכר נא. לאלה אשר לא אנוכי הרע. The one who owns that, I'm pregnant from. ויקר יהודה, Yehuda recognized in a second, this is his. Now he put together all the story. ויקר יהודה ויאמר צדקה ממני. There are many different ways to read it. Some say tzadka mimeni, she's more right than me. Some say tzadka, period, or comma, she's pregnant mimeni. There are hundreds and thousands of books written on this line, on the power of truth, power of admitting the truth. Could you imagine Yehuda is sitting there as an Av Bedin with a long white beard, and he is facing that case in front of him? He could swallow his tongue for a second and say, I get it, we'll find the guy, just go and die and clean up my way. I can't live with this all life long. Yehuda, tzadka mimeni, yes, this is for me. Who came out of this? Who was born from that relationship? ויהי כמשיב ידו, והנה יצא אחיו, ותאמר, מה פרצת עליך פרץ, ויקרא שמו פרץ. Who was born from Peretz? David HaMelech. Who came from David HaMelech? Mashiach ben David. So guys, here is the breaking news. Mashiach ben David is coming from where? From prostitute. Between a father-in-law and a daughter-in-law. This is where Mashiach is going to be produced. We can't wait for that Mashiach, can we? Yeah. Could you imagine? Mashiach is coming from the worst thing in the world. But that's not the end. If you pay attention, David came from who? Ishai, Oved, David. Ruth, right? And Ruth came from where? Moab. Moab came from Lot and his daughters. Lot had relationship with his two daughters. And Baruch Hashem, what will come out of it? Mashiach. A father with his daughter. And when that relationship happened and she gave birth, she did not hide the story. She named him for eternity. She named him what? Moab. מה זה מואב? מאב. She came to Bet HaKnesset to say a gomel, and they say, ויקרא שמו בישראל. Hello, ma'am. Hide the story. ויקרא שמו בישראל, מחלוף. יאללה, שקט. No, מואב. Why? Oh, זה מאבא שלו. She's saying it for eternity. זה מאבא. What is going on? Mashiach will come from it. Relax, Mashiach is coming. Let's sing Mashiach, Mashiach. When you sing Mashiach, now you think about this. But it's impossible. And remember, this story is being squeezed between Yosef is going to Egypt and Yosef is facing a story with Eshet Potiphar. Now, what's the story with Yosef and Eshet Potiphar? Another incredible story. Another incredible story. Yosef HaTzadik is going to Egypt. He's starting serving in the house of Potiphar. And the wife of Potiphar loved him. The Midrash said, you're right, the Midrash said, מה שהייתה לובשת שחרית, לא הייתה לובשת ערבית. By the way, if you're married, that's what you need to do. She used to dress up to her husband in a very, very beautiful way. And now she wants Yosef. She dressed up for Yosef. Unlike all these women, no offense to nobody, that when they go to an event, they spend 6 hours in the shower, and they go out of the shower, look like a $10 million. But if there is no event and just the husband come home, he's coming and he says, Msauda, Babchluf, זה מה she there. He was sold as Cinderella, and as I said, and he married Fortuna. That's what it is. She's looking like somebody who is about getting ready to go to sleep. Yeah, take care of yourself. So, Eshet Potiphar is trying to entice Yosef. Goya, she's not Jewish. And Yosef is not. ויקדברה אליו יום יום. Every day. Could you imagine Yosef, 18 years old boy? 18 years old boy. He could do anything he wants. Speaking of being religious, do you know how many times people come in and say, listen, if those are the religious people, I don't want to be part of it. Do we believe Yosef has the right to say it? His own brothers sold him. His own brothers tried to kill him. His whole brothers became deaf when he's begging for his life. They couldn't care less about him. Yosef could easily say, listen, they dropped me here in Egypt. They don't know anything about me. They don't care for me. They're not looking for me. They're happy that I'm dead. If this is what God is, if this is what Torah is, if this is what religion is, forget about it. I don't want any of that. And now Yosef is there. Nothing. I'm not going to do anything. Yosef is not doing anything. Until, by the way, you should know that the only one from the entire Shvatim or the entire Torah has a title next to his name. Do you know what's the title of Yosef? Yosef HaTzadik. You will not find anyone we call today in the entire Torah Tzaddik. The only tzaddik we use is Yosef HaTzadik. Powerful. And when she tried to convince him and to entice him, She's coming to him, and Yosef realized that he has no choice. He's running away. ויקדברה אליו יום יום, until came the day that they were alone in the house, ויהי כיום הזה, ואין איש מאנשי הבית. ותתפסהו בבגדו לאמור שכבה עמי, she tell him, hey, come be with me. ויעזוב בגדו בידיו, וינוס, ויצא החוצה. He didn't leave the house. What did he do? He ran away. Remember the word, vayanos. Fast forward, when Am Yisrael leaving Egypt. When they leaving Egypt, Am Yisrael were busy doing what? Collecting all the gold, all the silver from the Egyptians, all the cash. Show me the cash. They're leaving Egypt. They're facing 7 days later the Red Sea. Correct? And in the Hallel, David HaMelech said, we read it in Hallel, Hayam ra'a vayanos. Hayarden isov le'achor. Hayam ra'a, when the sea saw, he opened. He split it. Hayam ra'a, ma ra'a? Ma ra'a? Arono shel Yosef. Hayam ra'a, the sea saw what? Arono shel Yosef. Yosef dead years ago. And when Am Yisrael were busy collecting all the gold and silver, Moshe Rabbeinu picked up the Aron of Yosef. ויקח משה את עצמות יוסף עמו כי השביע את בני ישראל. So Moshe Rabbeinu is picking up the casket of Yosef. And the sea saw it and split it. Who carried the Aron? Moshe Rabbeinu. הים ראה את משה רבנו? כן. אם הים רואה ראה הכל. ראה את משה רבנו? כן. Did a split for משה רבנו? לא. Alongside with Moshe Rabbeinu, there are 5 million Jews. הים ראה 5 million Jews. ראה, נפתח? לא. Isn't it scary to see that a dead Yosef worth more than 5 million Jews led by Moshe Rabbeinu? Power of Yosef HaTzadik. Lama? The self-control. Hayam ra'a, ma ra'a hayam? הוא ראה את המילה, he saw the word vayanos. ויצא החוצה. hayam ra'a vayanos. את מי הוא ראה? את זה שנס. את זה שברח. And then we know what happened when Eshet Potiphar saw her husband and she told him the story. Yosef Tzaddik ended up in jail. Rabotai, why those stories are together? They have nothing to do with one another, apparently. Rashi HaKadosh said a mind-boggling concept. Do you know why those stories are connected? Yehuda and Tamar and Eshet Potiphar and Yosef. Why those stories are written one next to the other, and why the story of Yehuda was squeezed in between the time Yosef is going to Egypt and Eshet Potiphar. Said the Midrash, Rashi brings it up, that the reason why those stories are together, because they are very, very, very similar stories. What makes those stories similar? The intention. Listen to this word. The intention. Said Rashi, if you want I can read it. כדי לסמוך ירידתו של יהודה למכירה של יוסף, כדי לסמוך מעשה אשתו של פוטיפר למעשה תמר לומר לך, the reason why those stories are similar and one next to each other, מה זו לשם שמיים, אף זו לשם שמיים. Such as Tamar. Why did Tamar do what she did? What was the purpose of Tamar doing what she did? What did she do it for? Huh? רצתה ילד, there are millions of ways to make a kid. You don't need to go to your father-in-law, it's not the only option. רבותיי, צריך לדעת, תמר הייתה צדיקת יסוד העולם. תמר was not anybody we can imagine. Tamar was one of the women that he mutset. She could go to Yehuda. She said, what are you talking about? That's from you. Stop directly. She didn't say anything to him. She was ready to be burned and not to face embarrassing him. From that, by the way, came the statement of Hazal, מוטב לו לאדם שיפיל עצמו לכבשן האש ואל ילבין פני חברו ברבים. Tamar was the tzaddiket of all tzaddikot in the world. Tamar was not a kedisha. Tamar is going al em derech because she wants to have kings from Yehuda. She wanted Yehuda. She knew exactly what she was doing. It was bad. It was wrong. It was terrible. But it was for the right intention. Eshet Potiphar did what she did for the right intention. This Goya. What was her intention? Remember when this woman used to live? She lived in Egypt. Egypt were the giants people in the world of Haziyah b'Kochavim, Mariyah b'Kochavim, the ability to see in the suns and the moon, the sun and the moon and all the stars. They had the astrology skills. She went to those, what do you call them today? Psychics? And when Eshet Potiphar saw Yosef, do you know what she knew? She knew for a fact she will have kids from him. She heard that she will have kids from him. She made a slightly mistake. What was the mistake? It's her daughter. אסנת. מה יש לכם במדינה היום? Yeah. אשת פוטיפר. אשת פוטיפר has a very, very simple and clear game plan. היא יודעת, she knows she's going to have, this is her family. She knows Yosef is her family. She will have kids from him. She made a slightly mistake. She ended up not having Osnat, her daughter, and Yosef HaTzadik married her daughter. Eshet Potiphar became his mother-in-law. Her attention was what? Her intention was to create children from him. She knew it's going to happen. She ended up messing up with the intention by the feelings that she's not going to get it. Then she sold him to jail. But the intention from the beginning was right. Even Eshet Potiphar. What we learn from this when you pay attention to it, that there is a very, very clear distinction between an action and the intention of the action. And if there is a conflict between the intention, the act, and the intention wins. The intention wins, meaning, if Yosef HaTzadik is going to tease his brothers with his dreams, and he's doing it terribly, damaging them, his actions were wrong, but his intention was right, he will end up being a king. When the brothers are doing the most horrific actions in the world, we will never judge what they do, and we are not there to begin to comprehend what they did, the act. We're going to look down into their intention. Their intention was very clearly the belief that Yosef deserved to die. Emotions aside, he deserves to die. When Yehuda and Tamar are going to the deal, Tamar has a terrible, terrible behavior, becoming like a prostitute. But what was the intention? What was in her mind the purpose of it? To create melachim from Yehuda. When that was the intention, she'll ended up winning the game. She will bring Mashiach not from her act, but from her intention. Intention is basically the core DNA that generates goodness when it exists. Intention, it's never what you do. Intention is why you do. Intention is not your action. Intention is basically the cause, the inner force that creates what you want to generate to create. Let me go a little deeper than that. What is intention basically? What is intention? Intention, Rabotai, here is how the deal is. You know, every human being in the planet Earth has two different existences. There is the outer existence and there is the inner existence. The outer existence is basically, I don't know, for a lack of a better word, what is it? A mask? Whenever you see any human being that you see, how much do you believe what you see in people is who they are? Anybody who is married knows the story. If you're married, you know that the one you dated has nothing to do with the one you married. You were fooled easily. And it's pretty much natural to do it. I'll give you a line you should remember. Imagine that I am a very, very, very angry human being. Regardless of the fact that I was born in Morocco, I was not, but in general. Like, it happened to be. מישל, אני מדבר על המרוקאים מטירה, לא של בית שמש. Imagine I'm a very, very angry human being. By the way, this is the most dangerous thing to marry to. If you marry somebody who's angry, ka'asan, every little thing drives him crazy. So imagine I have this nature. Or there is a worst one, if you wish. Do you know what's worse than ka'asan? What's the worst of any trait and characteristic? Kamtsan. Oh boy. Don't stay away, run away. Kamtsan, stingy. Somebody who's stingy. Somebody who spent $10 on you and he needs a cardiologist next to him. And believe it or not, there are people like this. Yes, there are people like this that when they need to give you $5, they're about to die. Poor them. I don't even blame them, but there is such people. Okay? And they're not all living in Meknes, by the way. They're living in many other places. Now imagine I am an angry person and jealous, but I need to get married. So I'm going on a date with a girl. What is the chance, do you believe, that I will look at her on the date and say, let me share with you a little bit about myself. Tell me about yourself. Oh, I'll share with you about myself. I'm a very, very angry person. Whenever something doesn't work my way, I will throw anything I see in front of me. It will be plates flying in the house. I'm going to curse you and your mom and the source of your coming from. And I'll curse your family. I'll destroy you. You know, and really not to blame me, that's my nature. How many people do you believe will say that?
None.
None. How many of us do you believe that you say, and you look at her looking at the menu, and she said, what do you think, should I take the steak? And you see the price of the steak is $80. It's kosher, so it's got to be $80. $80 steak. Ah, meat is not healthy. No, meat creates cholesterol. No. That's not good for you. So maybe I'll take a chicken. No, chicken, no, not healthy. there is a salad of $7. How about we eat healthy? So he gives her all the story. What is the chance you're going to believe I will look at her and say, hey, ma'am, listen to me. It's $80. I'm not going to spend that. $80 I eat all week. I'm not going to spend it for an hour meal. What is the chance do you believe I will tell her the truth? 0. So let's put it metaphorically in a simple way. I am who I am. But when I go to a date, who am I sending to the date?
Somebody else.
Who am I sending? My mask.
The outside.
I'm sending my mask. I will never send me. I will never go to the date. So I will send a mask. But guess what happened when I send my mask? Who is my mask going to date? Her mask. So who is actually dating?
Masks.
2 masks. Are you surprised the 2 masks are falling in love so quickly? They're all beautiful. They're great. They're complete. They're incredible people. Those masks are lovely. Darling, honey, sweetheart. Oh boy, I missed you so much. They're talking so beautifully. And here is the reason, the core reason of marriages falling apart. Because masks are dating, but people are married. The moment you get married, and Mrs. Fantasy flying away through the window, and Mrs. Reality knocking on the door, you open your eyes at 6 o'clock in the morning and you turn to the left side of your bed and you see this and you say, what the heck did I do? Like, how blind was I? Well, you were not blind. You were never there to begin with. Because she will say exactly the same thing. מסחרה, exactly. כן, כן, אני מבין. We're not going to open that, but yeah, I definitely agree with you. But that's what it is. You're fooling each other on the date, but in reality, you discovered, if you are the wife, you discovered that this guy basically has a mother, and he exactly is like his mother, and his mother never let him go, and his mother looking at you as a thief, you stole her son. When you have a very deep desire to say, forget about stealing, take him back. He's all yours back. Okay, no problem. Take him, I'll pay double, just take him away from my life. And you see that the reality of who we are inside and who we are outside are 2 different human beings. So what and how do we know people? How do you know the inner being of a person? There are 2 ways to do it, but even that is with the permission of the person. There are 2 ways to know what's going on inside you. One is the way you talk. I love you. What did I say? I love you. So if you believe me, you believe that what do I have inside me towards you? Love, because I said so. So my words revealing my inner being, because you can never know my inner being. The only way you will know my inner being is by me expressing it. And if what I'm expressing is true, you will know I love you. But there is another way to know the inner being of a person. And that is through actions. My actions and my words are the 2 gates that basically revealing my inner being. So you will know if I love you either by me saying it or by me acting on it. If I show care and love and compassion towards you, you know I love you. I don't need to say the words, I love you. Although some people really love hearing those words. I cannot get it. But there are people who are in love listening to a love language. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. People need to know you love them. And if you ever want to invest anything in life, invest in love, in real love, in true love, because this is the oxygen of humans' existence. But in any case, when you look on the inner being of us, and you see our actions, and you see that our actions are not taking us to where we want to be, you know one thing, what's missing? The intention. The intention means when your inner being is congruent with your action. They call it in English also integrity. Do you know what integrity is? Integrity is a very interesting concept, very powerful concept. Integrity is where what you think and what you say and what you feel is congruent. When you say to someone, I love you, and you have an intention of getting something from it, then you don't love the person. You love what you get from the person. Okay? If you go to a guy and you say, I love you because you're rich, what do you love?
The richness.
Not the rich. You love money.
Money, okay.
You love money.
The fact that he's rich.
Yeah. So you don't love him. You love the money. If tomorrow Makhluf has no money anymore and he gives the money to Saud, you love Saud because you don't love Makhluf nor Masoud. You don't love any of them. You love their money, but you call it, I love you. You don't. That makes sense? When you say I love you, but what's really going on in your heart is something else, what I can get from you. It's quite funny, let me tell you this. It's not really funny, but I work in whatever, marriage counseling and relationships, coaching and all of that incredible love business, which I love so deeply. I really do. And I love to tease couple prior to marriage. I do a lot of pre-marriage courses, a lot of pre-marriage preparation to marriage. I'm always on the fine line between getting them from excitement to a nightmare, from a dream to a nightmare. And really in no time. And you look at them, they're so excited. They're coming and they say, Rabbi, we're getting to get married. That's so... I say, you about to do what? They think I'm deaf. We're about to get married. I look at them with such a poker face and say, why? Like, what's wrong in life? Like, what do you need to get married for? And they look at me and say, what do you mean? I love her. Oh, you love her? So be with her. Well, why marriage? Live together. Well, before you know it, they look at me and say, are you really a rabbi? Like, why married? Then I go a little deeper and I say, what do you love about her? Oh, she is amazing. What makes her amazing? She makes me happy. She makes me feel good. She loves me. She takes care of me. She cooks for me. She's doing this for me. She's so easygoing. She always relaxes with me. And then after this guy so excitedly speaking about her greatness, I look at him and I said, there is one word you say, the little too much, it scares me. He said, what is the word? I said, I heard a me language. She makes me happy. She takes care of me. She makes me laughing. She makes me this. She cooks for me. She does for me. She's an orphan, Baruch Hashem, there's no mother. And she's all about me. All you hear is me conversation. That's all you hear. So I said, wait a second. If all you love her for is what you get from her, who do you really love? Then you cannot imagine she's looking at him. She said, that's all you love me for? I thought you really loved me. No, he's tricking me. He's a rabbi. You know, he's tricking me. He's not... And you create a little mess. I love that mess. Love that mess. Because when you can, listen, if you don't create mess, you have no clients. Od 10 minimum. Od 10 minimum. My point being is like this. Let me tell you what the power of intention is. The power of intention is depending on our understanding that this universe is divided to two groups. Pay attention to this. This universe is divided to two groups of people. Those who are takers and those who are givers. Those who are looking at themselves as the center of the universe and everything in the world around them is about serving them. And those who are here to serve. Every human being on the planet Earth that has ever experienced a conflict, look at any couple in the world. I'm speaking couples because that's kind of work that I do. But any couple who are facing challenge, what do you hear? In principle, what do you hear? Why this guy is not happy? Oh, I'm not happy in my marriage. No problem, sir. Why are you not happy? If he's not happy, there is one principle that goes across the board. He's not happy because he has a desire, he has a need that is not met. It's all about me and me and me and what I need. And when my needs are not being met, I'm very uncomfortable. I'm not happy. Because what makes me happy is whenever my needs are being met. Sir, my life is about me. And I got married, so my marriage will enhance the quality of whose life? Of my life. And this is nothing but being the best taker in the world. There are people that everywhere they go, by the way, there is no taker in marriage and not taker in any other area. When you are a taker, you're a taker. And you are a taker. And you are a taker. Everywhere. You do business with somebody, you will pursue what? Taking. You see a rich guy, there is only one question in your mind. What can I get? How can I legally transfer his money to my account? You see the entire world in only one direction. What can I get from you? You see a woman, what can I get from her? You see any human being, any situation in life, there is only one intention. The intention is how can I get something from you? And there are people, believe it or not, that are givers. There are people who are givers. There are people who has nothing in their mind but being in service. Nothing bothers them in life. I'm here to give. I'm here to give. My intention is to give. What for? No for, to give. Why are you giving? There is no why. There are many people who consider themselves givers, but they're nothing but takers. Imagine you see somebody poor on the street and you see people go and take $10 and give them. Why do you give him $10? Oh, you have to understand, I felt so bad. You know, my heart was broken. I felt terrible for him. So you gave him $10 to ease your heart? It's a very thin line, but that's what it is. And how do you feel after you gave him the $10? Oh, I feel so satisfied. I feel great. So you give the $10 to feel great? As hard as it might sound, the difference between a taker and a giver is nothing but the intention. If the intention of your life is to take, most probably you will end up living life in misery because the world is going to disappoint you in an incredible way. But when we live life with the intention of giving and the intention of serving for the sake of giving, not for any other benefits, you are completely nullifying your existence. I'll share with you something amazing that I experienced personally, and I remember that years ago. I remember I do public speaking for many years, and I realized something very interesting. It's very personal, but I'll share it with you because it's important. I realized that there are times that I can prepare the most incredible session, amazing. All set it up, all clear, point A, point B, point C, clear. I know what I'm going to talk about and it's beautiful. And I get up to talk and it's ended up being horrible. Horrible, bad news. It didn't come out right, it didn't come out, it was terrible, terrible speech. And there are times that I get up and speak, and Baruch Hashem, there is support mishamayim, and it resonates with people in an easy way. It works. Sometimes it's terrible, and I dug into my own self, and I try to figure out what makes a speech working, what makes a speech not working. And I have to tell you, as painful as it was for me, it was very painful. But I did some inner work on myself, and I realized something very interesting. When you speak in front of people, I don't know if you ever saw it, but there are people who speak in front of people, and I used to do this too. And the moment I finished, I go to my wife and I say, if she was there, and I say, how was I? How was I? How was the speech? How did I speak? Was good? You think people like me? Terrible. I don't want to use the word disgusting, but it is disgusting. You speak in front of people to look good? Is that the intention? Are you surprised that it comes out terrible? You speak in front of people, you deliver, you convey a message, and all you care is about how do I look? It's terrible. But I realized that when I speak in front of people, my real deep intention is to give. Just share whatever idea I want to share. Share the idea with people. When the intention is to give, to be there to serve people, then whatever comes out of you comes naturally. And if people like it, they like it. If they don't like it, they don't like it, because you're not there to get likes. It's not Facebook page. You're not there for you. But you got to be very honest with yourself. What's the intention? Is my intention to serve? Or my intention is to get some likes on Facebook? Oh, I was in the class and it was such incredible. Can you convey a message and nullifying the messenger? If you can, you're in the right business. If you can't, go find other ways for people to show you some love. What you do will end up with the results based on what your intention is. And that means, brothers and sisters, that means that if there is anything in your life, if there is anything in our life that we try to accomplish and we end up not getting the results we want, it has nothing to do with what we do. We can do all the right things in the world. It has nothing to do. Don't research what you did wrong. Rather research what was your intention. Was your intention to give, even if you open a business? You open a business, any kind of business. You sell shoes. Do you sell shoes so people will have a comfortable experience walking, or you sell shoes to make money? If you sell shoes to make money, most probably the end result will be much less than if you sell it to create comfort by people, for people. Do you know how, I can tell you this too, I don't care. Do you know when a couple comes to you and they have a challenge? Do you know how easy it is for me to stretch sessions? We need another 15 sessions. We need another 5 sessions. I don't need anything. Do you know how easy it is? But the only thing that will determine your success working with people is the intention. I got to be honest with you. Before a couple ever comes to me, I use some mantras. I tell myself, I am there for them. I am there for them. I am there to serve them. Yes, even if it comes with money in the end, but I'm there to serve. And unless you re-inject the idea back to your mind over and over and over again with the game of intention, you will never be able to touch any human being's soul, ever. If you want to touch people's hearts, be there for them. If you're married and you look at your wife and you want anything, all you need to be there for is for her. For what matter? For what purpose? For her. What you going to gain out of this? Nothing. You are there for her. And if you're a woman, you are there for him. When the intention is right, Rabbotai, the intention is the genitor, is the one that generates the results that you want. And when the brothers, now you can go back on the entire story. This is the story with Yehuda and Tamar, this is the story of Potiphar, and this is the story of Yosef and the brothers. Yosef HaTzadik, from the very beginning, whatever he did was right, was wrong, was good, was bad, ended up with a great results for one reason. Because his intention was not a Hollywood intention. His intention was to teach his brothers that he can lead them to where they want to be. He will lead them to where they want and they need to be. And you guys can go ahead and put me in the pit and sell me to the Egyptians and crush me, put me in jail, destroy me, kill me, do whatever you want. When my intention is right, the end of the story will be great. So this requires an enormous self-inner assessment and a very high level of awareness, very high level of mindfulness in anything we want to achieve, is to begin to look deep into our own core being. And everything we do, before we ask what we do, start to stop and pay attention. Why do I want to do this? Why am I doing this for? Am I doing this to serve me, or I'm doing it to serve others? If the end result will be I'm doing it to serve me, you most probably will end up failing. And if the purpose is to serve, to be in service, this is what creates every success in the world. And we can go by example after example. Every successful human being in the planet Earth is there to serve. Yes, by serving you can create any kind of income you want, but the purpose is to serve. And the reason why purpose of serving works is simply because the purpose of the creation of the universe was to serve. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world to serve us. And when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is serving us, what does he get back? Nothing. And when we plug in being in service to the ultimate power of being in service, we become what? We become gods. Because the entire universe is here of kindness, is a world of kindness. It's a world of giving. It's a world of being in service. And where your intention is to serve others, the end result of whatever you do will be an incredible, incredible success. So with this, we will finish for today. And Be'ezrat Hashem, next week, we are going to have a class at the same time, but it will be more on Hanukkah and understanding the Hanukkah of 2018. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we will meet again. Thank you so much for coming again. And I hope you got something out of it. And if you didn't, You didn't. That will tell you my intention.